Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Mirror Expressions, and over here you'll find a little bit of everything. I'll be reviewing and recapping some of my favorite shows, and to start off, we're doing Married at First Sight. But first, I do want to pay homage to two of my favorite content creators that just kind of inspired me to take this journey. The first one is Miss Misha, IMO. Look her up, go to her. I've been rocking with her since day one. She is so hilarious. And I listen to her reviews, even of the shows I don't watch. And then my other favorite content creators, they're a couple, Cam Humphreys. Check them out as well. But I just want to do my due diligence with that. It's been a struggle not listening to Misha's review as of today, because I wanted to give my review free of any other kind of thoughts or perceptions that others may have. And then Cam Humphreys, they usually put theirs out on a Saturday after the show. So without further ado, let's get started. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And just know that all views are my thoughts and opinions and not facts. Okay, so we are starting Married at First Sight, season 15, episode 1. And this time we are in San Diego. We got so far the experts, Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal. The other two experts have not shown their faces as of yet, and Dr. Viviana is no longer on the show. So I'm just going to go through the couples, and then we'll go through the review. And I'll end with my thoughts as of right now, who's going to make it and who is not. Okay, so we have Sasha and Nate. There is a 3-year age difference between them. Sasha is known as the boss lady. She's 37, not sure what her occupation is. Nate, he is dubbed the hustler with the heart. He's 34, and he's into some day trading. He kind of gives me like a baby John Legend look to him, like just physically, aesthetically. He just kind of favors John Legend to me, but he's definitely giving off hustler vibes. Like, I don't know if he has a real deal career here, but he definitely seems like he's just a hustler. Okay. The next couple is Lindy and Miguel. So there's a 6-year age difference with them. Lindy is 29. She's dubbed the adventurous overthinker, and she's a physical therapist. And Miguel is 35. He's dubbed the starry-eyed scribe, and he's a medical writer. And then we have Morgan and Ben. They have a 2-year age difference. Morgan is 27. She's a nurse, and she is dubbed strong and independent. Ben is dubbed the mama's boy, and you all will see why later on. And he's 29 and an engineer. The next couple is Alexis and Justin. They have a 4-year age difference with them. Alexis is 29. She's dubbed the passionate powerhouse, and Justin is considered the towering teddy bear, and he's 33. I don't know what either of those two do as far as an occupation. And then our 5th and last couple is Kristen and Mitch. They have a 9-year age difference, okay? Kristen is called Daring and Devoted. She's 32. Not sure what she does. And Mitch is called dubbed the Rebel with the Cause. He's 41, and he's into an environmental nonprofit organization, okay? So I like how, let me just start with, I like how they kind of switched things up this season, as far as like they didn't give us everybody's wedding dress shopping and suit shopping, which I feel just takes up unnecessary time, because who wants to see all that, right? And then they showed them shopping for wedding rings, which they have done that in the past where they've actually gone into the store. But this time, I don't know, that ring company from last season, I guess they are just they doing straight advertisement. Like they had a whole infomercial in the middle of the show. So, but one thing I will say I wish would change, if they would just kind of spice up the intro music and just the introduction to the show, period. Like, we're getting the same song, same little man and woman coming out on the little crane and meeting each other. Like, I would like to see that, done a little differently. Kind of like you know how the Cosby Show, like, every season or every couple of seasons, they would switch up the song a little bit and have a different intro. Like, that would be a good thing to see, I think. Just my opinion. Okay, so it opens up. We're 14 days into the wedding. And this is when they are basically telling their families what's going on. So Lindy meets with her friends at they're kind of like at a wine bar. She tells them, and they're pretty much all excited for, she does say that she's an overthinker and that she's kind of lived a shelter life because she was raised as a Seventh-day Adventist. So she says she kind of feels like she has like this Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing where she wants to do good, but she wants to also dabble in the bad. And so she kind of just goes back and forth with that. Basically, she's trying to find herself, as an adult, so she says she usually goes for men that are emotionally unavailable. And so, her friends just basically, like I said, they were excited for her, but they were just like, when she shuts down, she shuts down. So they hope that she could get a guy that can handle all of that or whatever. And so, and she also states that, yeah, she's ready for kids like yesterday. So that's Lindy. And then we have Miguel. He's known as the game master amongst his group of friends. He's into the whole cosplay. So he meets with his friends and they're all like dressed up in costumes or whatever. And I don't want to offend anybody that's into that, but it was just kind of weird to see all these grown folks out in the middle of a public place, like all dressed up like the kids or whatever. So but he meets with his friends and his friends say that he avoids the red flags, like he's a very emotional person and that he will stay in a relationship longer than what he really should be doing. Okay, so he describes himself as a dork, as a romantic, hopeless romantic, a jock, a lover, a fighter, he's just a damn onion, if you ask me. He's into this Dungeon and Dragon stuff. So the producer asks, well, does his role playing show up in the bedroom, right? So he kind of laughs it off or whatever, and he just says that he's into vanilla sex, which personally I think would be quite boring. But he says it's not boring, but vanilla is vanilla. It's plain. It's called vanilla for a reason. So anyway, so he has his PhD in neuroscience, but he was kind of bored with that and kind of got into medical writing. He's of Puerto Rican descent, and his mom left him when he was young. And so he says that's kind of been like a running theme throughout his life with women just leaving him. So it kind of lets me know that maybe there is some kind of void there or some kind of healing that has not taken place because he's choosing these same type of women, or either he's giving off maybe kind of being emotionally clingy. And so that can wear out on your partner, and then, they will eventually leave. So anyway, so the experts say that they paired these two because they They both desire a partner with high emotional intelligence that will work through their issues and not throw in the towel. His calm nature will put hers at ease. Okay, so we'll see. Right now, I think they have a chance of making it. Yeah, so we'll see. All right, so the next couple we see that are telling their friends and families are Alexis and Justin. Alexis wants somebody that's more low key than herself, and Justin wants somebody that can pump his head up. Basically, he's looking for his personal cheerleader. So again, that screams to me like you have some insecurities if you look into somebody else to be able to pump you up like that. I mean, everybody deserves a supportive partner, but if that's what you're looking for, like, you're lacking. Okay, so Justin, he met with his brother and his brother's wife. And his brother raised him, he said, from like the ages of 14 through 19. So he's kind of like a brother / father figure for him. So, his brother didn't take the news too well. He actually started laughing in his face, like as if it was a joke, right? But then he came back and just said, he doesn't think it's a good idea. He's not ready for it. And just to kind of, he welled up and started crying like a little baby. I was very taken aback. Like, it's something about Justin that just some of his mannerisms are just kind of giving me pause. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something to watch out for. Keep an eye on. But he says, Justin goes on to say, like, women just want him just to try to D because he's 6'8". And so, I guess he's insinuating that tall people have tall pain or whatever, but that ain't always the case, okay? And I just don't see it, Justin. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. But yeah, so you'll see he says this throughout the show, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna hear it throughout the season a lot. People only want him for the D, you know what I'm saying? But basically, he says he came out the womb being 5'3", you know what I'm saying? And that he got into basketball because of his height, but he wishes that someone would have told him that just because you're that tall doesn't mean you're going to automatically make it to the NBA. So his yeah, so that's about it on him. His brother just went on to say that this is not natural, and that he's broken and making a big mistake. Okay, so then we pan over to Alexis, and she's meeting with her friends. It seems like a lot of these people are transplant, because what I noticed that a lot of them are just not meeting with their families, that they are meeting with their friends. And so I think that's just kind of what this area is probably made up. A majority probably are just transplants from different parts of the U.S. or whatever. So Alexis, she met up with her friends. They're out in the park. And one thing I did notice about Alexis was that all her friends were males, and she's the only woman out there playing football with them. Okay, so they sit down after playing this game of football, and she takes off her little scarf that she had wrapped around her hair, and then she puts on this veil, and she basically just tells them, that she's getting married. She talks about how she's been proposed to 3 times, and some of these just really don't even seem legit as she describes them and how it went. Like one was, I don't know. we'll just skip over it. It's just, I don't remember. It was like one was right out of high school, one was a friend in college, and one was a lover in college. Like, it was just kind of like weird. So it really was like, really, are these real proposals? Or, somebody was just like, if I propose to you, would you marry me? Or something like that. It didn't give sincere vibes like she really had been proposed to 3 times, legit. So anyways, she talks about how her parents didn't have a healthy marriage, but that they stayed together for the kids. And so she's the youngest out of the 3 siblings. And that when she turned 18, then her parents got a divorce. And she was basically like, finally, what were y'all waiting on, basically? Because I think she just saw the benefit of not staying in a unhealthy marriage for the sake of the children, but yet the parents thought differently. Okay, so she says that she's tired of writing her mom as her emergency contact. And honey, Lord knows I can relate, because look, I'm tired of the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So I get it, sis. I get it, but we'll see how this works out. I wouldn't change that emergency contact information too quick. That's all I'm gonna say on that. So her friend said she needs to work on her delivery as far as the things that will help to make her marriage a success. So the expert says that these two were matched because they balance each other out. He's sensitive, she's strong, and her devotion and his commitment issues will counterbalance each other out. Okay, so the next couple we're looking at is Kristen and Mitch. So Kristen, she meets with her friends again, didn't really have family there. So this is Kristen with a Y. I keep hearing that, Kristen with a Y. And so she is her friends. Okay, so sorry y'all. This is new for me, so I'm kind of trying to read my notes and I'm scrabbling. So anyway, so her friends are speechless when she tells them that she's been chosen and that she's gonna be married in 2 weeks. And but they were making some valid points once they started talking or whatever. And so she talks about how she was engaged before, and this guy that she was engaged to, basically, he was a scrub. That's what it sounded like. He was couch surfing, and she met him like at a friend's place at the apartment she lived on, and she ended up being with this guy for 4 years. He stiffed her after she had already made plans. She said she emptied out her life savings at this point to pay for this destination wedding. And so to make lemonade out of lemons, she ended up still just going to the destination with her close friends and family and just living it up. One thing is that she hadn't told her dad, and she wants to wait to the wedding day to tell him. And I don't get that at all, because also in that she is expecting him to still walk her down the aisle. Like, I don't know if she's doing that to get like a bigger reaction. It just didn't make sense to me. Like, I don't know if she's scared. That's what it's screaming. She's scared. She seeks his approval, but she's scared to not get it at this point. And so she wants to spring it on him at the last minute. That's exactly what it sounds like to me. Okay. So her parents are divorced as well, and she's the oldest of 3. So we go over to Mitch. Mitch, he's meeting with his brother, and then he Zooms, I think, his mom and his sister-in-law and his nieces, right? So his brother is with him, and then he Zoom calls the other. So he lets them know. He does not. He is the oldest prospect on the show, and yet he has not been in what he considers really a long-term relationship. I think he said the longest has been about 2 years, right? And so his mom and his sister-in-law and nieces, they were pretty much all excited for him. So he does admit that he has commitment issues. His parents divorced when he was 3, but that he is really wanting a family. He is into like saving the environment and making it a better place for the future generations. And he also is into wanting to start a family. Like, he speaks about how he was a nanny for his nieces. I guess he was just taking some time off, or maybe being in between jobs, and so he did that. Took that time to watch his nieces. Okay, and he's also big into surfing. So he really does have that whole California vibe going on, if you ask me. So, and the expert says that they matched them because she wants someone who is passionate, and that he's passionate about like saving the earth and all that, and they both want to start a family. So the experts, I think they're kind of missing the mark here about why they're matching these people. But hey, we'll see. Okay. Our next couple is Morgan and Ben. So Morgan, she met with her friends. She is dubbed to be too headstrong and independent. She doesn't have a relationship with her dad. I think is she the one that says she doesn't even know who her dad is? She was raised by her stepdad, or no, I think that was Sasha. Okay, so anyway, she doesn't have a relationship with her dad, but she's of Japanese descent, and that she talks about how she was in a very depressed state of mind at some point, and that she really basically had to step back and get her life together. She'd gained some weight, and so she's back on a healthy tip as far as emotionally and physically. Her friends seemed hesitant, but supportive. And they just, kind of mentioned how she likes to be in control, and that she's like this powerhouse. Like, one of her friends got on a TV and showed a chip tube saying this is what she did when we were in the kickboxing ring. Like, that couldn't be me. First of all, honey, why you ain't got that a cap right now? Why you walking around with a chip tube, baby? It couldn't be me. But anyways, so then Ben, we pan over to Ben. He's very athletic. He has his little muscles, and he's showing his guns or whatever. And he meets with his friends. He tells them that he's gonna get married in 2 weeks. And his friends, they were pretty supportive as well. They got really excited. Ben, he's of Vietnamese descent, and his parents met at a refugee camp, and then came over to America. And he was just saying that in his household, basically your career was chosen for you. And he's an engineer, and basically he was just like, we grew up knowing that we're going to either have to be like a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. So it was something to that effect. So his parents just really value education. And then they were really strict about spending. So he's very frugal. And when I say frugal, I'm just talking, beyond, really beyond. He's cheap. He's just plain cheap. That's what it is. Just cheap. Cheap. CHEA, capital P. He's cheap. Okay? Just cheap. It ain't even paying over to this guy, flipping out coins from his couch cushion. I was just like, now some of this is so staged, and they could have just left some of that out. But anyway, basically, the experts said they put them together because they're both physically fit. Like, make it make sense. Like, because they're both physically fit, but you know, who am I? I'm not an expert. I'm just somebody reviewing and recapping. Okay. All right. So our last couple is Sasha and Nate. Okay, so Sasha, she meets with her mom with this old fancy get up. I kind of feel that's how she kind of lives her life. Like, she fancy, huh? Okay, so you get the point. So she told her mom, and so the mother did a Hail Mary, and if it ain't right, I'm not Catholic, so I'm just kind of, that's what the mama did. She did a Hail Mary, and she said it ain't for you, it's for him. So to me, sounds like she's a handful, okay? But she was kind of just like, she doesn't need a man, she wants a man, okay? And that she's I think 37, right? And so she spent this time just working on herself and getting into a place within her career that where she want to be, that she's comfortable with. And so her mom, and obviously she's very well off, so her mom asked her, well, if she is going to make her future husband sign a post-nup. And so she was just like, pretty much, absolutely. And so her mom was like, well, what if he refuses to sign? And she was just like, well, it's gonna be a no-go. But honestly, I feel like I've read in past seasons that they are all required to sign a prenup anyways, because you're marrying a stranger and you don't know really which way this thing is going to go. So who wants to put everything that they're worked for and invested in on the line for something that may end in a matter of 90 days? Okay. So then she also talks about how she emancipated herself, because now I think she's the one that never knew who her real father was. She was raised by her stepfather, and her mom and her stepfather decided to move away at some point while she was still in school. Well, she did not want to move because she had been with these same group of friends since they were little. And so she emancipated herself and moved in with a family of one of her friends to continue to be able to stay where she was. So I just kind of wonder, like, how that shows up in her relationship with her mom, especially. I just kind of think like that there will be some hurt there, or I don't know, maybe she showed just great maturity at that age. I think she said she was maybe 16 when she emancipated, and her mom just felt confident and okay with allowing that to be her decision. But at the same time, I don't really feel that may have been the case, because if she did, why not just let it happen versus her having to go through the whole process of being emancipated? So I just kind of feel like they may have created a wedge in between their relationship. But anyway, needless to say, when she said she emancipated and went to live with her friend's family, that she saw different dynamics of a family relationship with parents that are present or whatever. So I think it made her look at relationships differently and long to have that type of relationship with someone. Okay. So then we go over to little baby John Legend, the baby JL. That's what we're gonna call him, because he is really giving me, I don't know, especially when he's far away, because when you get up close, you see, he got a little face acne, but Baby John Legend vibes with the little ponytail. He got a little ponytail he be rocking or whatever. So he meets with his friends. And here's another one. He had a lot of female friends. I do want to say, I think there was one guy and the others were females. And they were pretty excited as well, and supportive. Um but I think one of the girlfriends did ask, like, well, what if she has a problem with you having female friends, you know? And so we'll see how that pans out. But anyway, he talks about how he got into whole day trading. He used to be the little booster man on the street selling knockoff purses, basically. And he says that a police officer pulled him over or stopped him, came up to him and said, basically gave him a slap on the wrist and said, if he continued, then he was going to go to jail. And so from there, he said he kind of got his act together and got into different ways of financing and doing his day trading. And I don't know, brother. It ain't sounding like you too legit still. Like, it still sound like you out here probably scamming some kind of way. But hey, who are me? Who are me? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I think it'll probably more that will probably come to light as the season progresses. Okay. So anyway, the experts say that they both have this entrepreneurial spirit, and they can bring out the playful side of Sasha while she can keep him on the path to success. So there's that. That's why they were matched. Okay, now we're 12 days from the wedding. The men meet up. All the men get together for the first time. They're out there playing volleyball, and they're just kicking around certain questions and getting to know each other's different personalities. Justin said that he's single because, again, people like to look at him as just a piece of meat, and this was so hilarious to me because Nate and Ben just went in. So I think it was Nate that was just like a good piece of meat, and then Ben was just like, a vegetarian piece of meat. For some reason, that was just so hilarious to me. Mitch, he feels pressured to be he said he feels pressure to like who is chosen for him, and that he's learned from his past. Oh no, he feels pressure to like who's chosen for him. That's what he said. And then so the question was asked, what have y'all learned from your past not to bring into your future? And Nate was just like just being selfish, because he says that he put so much time into like leveling up in his jobs, and so he's just learned how to take time for the one that he's with, create that quality experience with them, basically. Ben talks about how he was not fulfilled in his job, and so that he volunteered at an orphanage down in Peru. I think that was pretty awesome. You know what I'm saying? You don't find too many people that just take it upon themselves to do those type of things without probably some kind of benefit to them in return, like maybe a monetary benefit, or I guess I don't know, but just to have that benefit of just knowing, hey, I'm helping someone less fortunate. And I think that's pretty awesome of Ben. And then Miguel, he's the softy of the bunch. So, well, I say he's the softy, but they're just, I don't know. It's between the two of them. Like, who's the softest? I don't know. But anyway, Miguel, he's the one that's more emotionally in tune. He likes to write the poetry and stuff. So he reads. Well, he doesn't read. He recites from memory a poem that he wrote. And, he's just like, oh, this is the best one yet. I'm really thinking he's finna get all deep, and I'm going to be doing my snaps. Like, yeah, honey. After he read that poem, it was crickets. You could hear like a pin drop. It was just like, and Lifetime shows so shady. They started playing like crickets in the background to it. Everybody was just looking around. And then you see Mitch saying, well, we're all a little weird in our own right, you know. So that was pretty hilarious. So then we pan over to the women and their meetup. There's kind of they're like at some kind of restaurant or whatever, and again they're just discussing different topics and just asking each other about themselves, like your age, what do you do, what do you like, you know what I'm saying. So the question comes up, like, what are some of the red flags? And I kind of feel like this was set up because it was like some of the things that were being said were the exact things that they didn't want but were receiving in their mate. Like who's the one that's getting with Mitch? Is that Kristen? Like she mentioned, it's a red flag when a guy is almost 40 years old basically and has not been in a serious long-term relationship or married or almost married, and here she is marrying, they've matched her with this 41-year-old guy that has commitment issues and has never really been in a relationship. Or they asked Morgan brought up how, you know, not wanting to be with somebody who is frugal, and we got Ben that's frugal beyond frugal, you know, he's a whole cheapskate out here in these streets. So I just found that kind of you know, in some instances it just kind of felt set up. It didn't feel like a genuine moment, but anyway, nevertheless, they talk about some of their red flags, and then Morgan also talks about her Japanese heritage and how she comes from a family of samurais, and so they have like, I don't know, a special statue or swords or something. So she was just saying how she would love to go to Japan and just find out more about her heritage and her history, as far as that is. So I have to insert that Alexis is not feeling Lindy. Like the look that she was giving Lindy, it was just like, if looks could kill, sister is not feeling her for whatever reason. And I think they asked her like, what was her opinion of Lindy, and she basically was trying to be nice about it, and the producer says no. Okay, so what is your real thoughts? And she was basically like, she talks too much. So then there was like a montage of Lindy continuing to talk, you know. I think that was really probably editing, but she does seem like she talks a lot. Okay, so now we're 11 days to the wedding, and here we are to them dress and suit shopping. Thank goodness they did not show every couple. They only showed 2 couples, and that was Alexis and Justin and Sasha and Nate. Okay, so we're with Alexis, and she has her cousins and with her, cousins with her, and then Nate is with his brother and his nephews, right? So Alexis, I'm not feeling your taste, sister. I'm not feeling your taste. Like that first dress she tried on, like she was literally covered from up here to the floor, all the way like down here. It was not a pretty look. Like it was giving me like, I don't know, Mormon vibes or something. Like I think they probably even show a little bit more on their wedding day. But hey, who are me? Who are me? You know what I'm saying? So then she tried on a second dress. It was okay. It was better than the first one. And then the third dress, I think, was the one that she settled on. And again, it was just a flop for me. I wasn't feeling it, but hey, if she liked it, you know, I loved it for her. You know, it had like a asymmetrical waistline, which was just kind of weird. And then the bodice was laced. And then I couldn't really tell if it had like a gold under top right here around the bralette part area, or if that was her own personal bra she just happened to have on that was that color. But yeah, it was like gold see-through. And so I mean, the best part of the dress was the split. She had a side split, and that was sexy. But other than that, it was a no for me. But so let's see. Then Nate, he picks out his suit. He comes out in this all white. It had like a white bow tie, white shirt, a white jacket. And the brother come out like, yeah, I know I'm looking good, you know. And it was like, bro, you look whole fool, you know. His brother even was like, man, no, you look like a waiter. You know. So it was just hilarious. So then he ended up, I think, choosing like this flowery black suit with this tie that had like I don't know, like a ring around where the knot is. I don't know if it was like a ring or like maybe one of those little stretchy things that was adorned with like the little crystal gems or something. It was really the first time I had kind of seen that style, which I mean, it was okay. You know, I didn't necessarily hate it. It was different, you know. So but yeah. And then we move on to Sasha and Nate. So they were the second couple that we saw try on their dresses. She was with her mom and some of her friends, and he was with their friends. And I really loved the dress that Sasha chose. It was very pretty. And then Nate, he kind of chose like that same kind of suit that Justin had chose. And like even down to the tie with the little I really don't know what to call it. I'm just gonna call it like a ring over the knot part, you know. Moving on. So now we're 9 days. We're 9 days to the wedding, and so we're at the bachelor and bachelorette party. Okay, so all I can say is, again, Lex is not feeling Lindy. She just is not. I think at one point she was like, I'm trying to connect, and the only thing I can find to connect with her on is that yeah, we're both marrying strangers. And basically that's all I got. That's all I got. So yeah, she's not feeling her. So anyways, Justice says, you know, his peen didn't get hard for the strippers. And it's like, now Justin, I mean, are you obsessed with your peen? Like, what is it? Like, everybody wants your peen, and then your peen don't get hard for the women. You already out here with kind of these feminine vibes. Like, I'm not getting it. Like, you know, like, I don't know. It's just something there that ain't connected for me. Like his mannerism, his facial, the way he hold them lips, and then even how he just licks them. It ain't like you know how some men lick their lips, it just be sexy. He lick them like a whole woman to me. But hey, who I me? You know, I don't know. It's just something about him. And so anyway, Nate, he's a self-proclaimed freak, and baby, he showed his tail. Like, I was even surprised with some of the things that they allow on the Lifetime, just considering it wasn't like a private channel. Okay, like he told the stripper to get down on her knees as he squirted whipped cream from like his private area, kind of to assimilate him ejaculating into her mouth. So I thought that was kind of wild that they even showed that. But yeah, he definitely not. I don't know if he really a freak or if he just a fuck boy. My money is on the latter, but again, who are me? So we shall see, as time goes on. Morgan, baby, she was having the time of her life. She was on the bar. They was throwing money to her. And she was just cutting loose. Okay. Then, Kristen, was it Kristen? No, who's the one that was, a Seventh-day Adventist? Is that Kristen? Let me see. Let's just check these notes real quick. No, Lindy. Okay, so again, oh yeah, the one Alexis is not connecting with. Okay, so Lindy was kind of just standoffish and just saying, that growing up, she never got to dance, she never party, and so she's just kind of feeling out of place in this arena. But anyways, so yeah, and okay, that's about it. Let's keep moving. Okay, let's keep moving. That was about it. I will mention that Justin, Jolly Green Giant, he did get into it with his brother at the bachelor party. And it was just basically because, I felt like at some point his brother needs to back off. He gave his opinion about, I'm not feeling like it's a good idea. But at the same time, Jolly Green Giant, he's 33 years old. He's old enough to make his own decisions. And it's like, just be supportive. Sometimes you got to let people fall. You've already gave your opinion. It's not for you to keep bashing him over the head with, because he is able to make his own decisions in life. At this point, I would hope. But I really thought it was just weird, that dynamic of him being 33 and still seeking the approval of his brother to the degree that he was. Like, I really felt like he just should have been like, I appreciate your thoughts, but this is the decision I've made, and all I really need is for you to support me at this point. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to agree, but as my brother, I do expect you to support me. But to me, that wasn't just the vibe that the Jolly the Green Giant was trying to give off. To me, it was giving off, no, I need his approval. Like, I don't know if he just feels like he has to live up to something, or that he's not meeting somebody's expectations and he's still in that mode of, I gotta prove myself. But it just wasn't, it was kind of giving, I'm emotionally stunted at this point right now. So anyway, they get into it, and the Jolly the Green Giant, he tells his brother to leave, right? And so his brother leave, and it did. Now this was a trip too. As his brother went out the door, his brother called him a bitch. He said, you acting like a bitch, man, or something to that effect. I'm like, dude, you cut your brother down like that on national TV. Like, I was just like, wow, yeah, he said you're acting like a little bitch, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? So, like, even in the heat of a moment, I wouldn't have done that. I would, especially on TV, because it's going to be out there, and it's going to be out there forever. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So now we're 5 days into the wedding, and this is where I mentioned that ring company, who shall not be mentioned, right now. They get enough free advertisement. But they it was basically a whole infomercial, like all the way to how easy it is to to design your custom rings, and each step you go through, you step 1, 2, and 3. It's just that easy. Like it literally sounded like at some point somebody was reading off something. And I really do believe it was like a voiceover actually, because the voice that was talking did not match the voice to any of the it was a woman's voice, but it didn't match up to any of the other ladies that were shown helping pick out the rings, right? And then when this voiceover was talking, they never showed that person face to face speaking. So I really do think it was just a voiceover. So it was like a real deal commercial. It really was. So then now we're one day until the wedding. This is the night before, and everybody has their own personal cams, right? They're doing their little personal cams at home or whatever they are. Morgan says she's nauseous. Ben, he's nervous because he says he eats in his sleep. And that's just the weirdest thing. Like, I don't know. But anyway, so he says he eats in his sleep and that he's nervous about doing that in front of his mate. Mitch, we find out that Mitch, he liked the R&B music, talking about he can't wait to call her his wifey. Okay, let me find out. You listen to some Jagged Edge or whatever, Mitch, okay? Then Alexis, she mentions how she's sharing thoughts with her soon-to-be fiance, although she hasn't met him. And I like that. You know, I never thought about it in that aspect, but in a sense they are, because I'm sure they both, like she was saying, are thinking some of the same thoughts. Like, I wonder what he's like. Are we making the right decision? I can't wait. I'm nervous. Is he, so... I thought that was pretty neat that she looked at things from that point of view. Justin, he just a nervous wreck. He said it hit him and he threw up. I mean, Justin, when I say Justin kind of a little sensitive, the Jolly the Grand Giant, he a little sensitive. And then we see Sasha. She didn't really have much to say, but I just noted her in these red and black flannel pajamas. I was like, oh my goodness. So now we are to the wedding day, right? And they all have their personal cameras again, and they're all getting excited about their wedding. And when Alexis is speaking, one thing I noticed in her background, because she was talking to her dog Newton, she would say something, then she would turn the camera on Newton, then she'd come back and Newton herself and Newton. But anyways, one thing I noticed that was so cute that we didn't see in their wedding, but behind her was hanging a little tuxedo for the dog. I was like, oh, and I was so... I didn't notice that until I was watching the playback. And I was like, I wonder why we didn't see the dog in the wedding if he had a whole tuxedo, and why you'll see later on. But once we get to the wedding with her and Jolly the Grand Giant, they really had a big moment over both of them liking dogs. So I just thought if the dog was there, then it would have been a given. So I don't know. But anyways, so she goes on, and I'm talking still about Alexis, just that she, she brings up how she will propose to 3 times, and that she didn't do it because, she was afraid, basically, and doing things this way is her way of not being able to back out. Like, she can't just give up. And then we pan over to Jolly Green Giant, and he has reconciled with his brother at this moment. And you can just tell that he is so nervous, because, he just could not be still. Like, he just kept moving, kept wringing them hands, licking them lips. And I'm just like, oh, Justin, get a hold of yourself, right? So... I think he talks about, I will say, like, Alexis was so gorgeous. I loved how her hair came together. Her makeup was beautiful. And she goes on to say that she gives herself 2 times a year to cry. So she was saying that she was trying not to cry, but when her mom showed up, that baby boo-hoo. She boo-hooed her butt off. She just fell into her arms, and she has one of them high-pitched like that baby was crying. Then we see Justin. He's getting ready to go to the altar. He meets up with his mom, his brother, and they share a moment. And his brother, I think his brother is really just trying to be overprotective, but at the same time, that's the man. You gotta let him be a man, he gets a little teary eyed. Well, I think actually both of them, all three of them really do. But yeah, they really kind of zone in on the brother getting a little teary eyed and saying that he looks good. He's one of the greatest men that he knows, and so it was good to see that they had reconciled. Because like I said, you can really tell that the Jolly the Green Giant, he's really seeking that approval from his brother. So he gets to the altar, and again, he's just still moving about, can't be still. That baby is nervous. So when Alexis first comes around the corner and he gets that first look, the first thing he says is, "Oh my God." And then and let me just say, Mama was banging in that dress. She was looking good. I said, Mama, is this your wedding or Alexis? But no, both of them were beautiful. I still ain't too crazy about Alexis' dress, but she was a beautiful bride. And so they get to the altar. Of course, they're like, "I'm Justin and I'm Alexis," and they're both just smiling at each other. And then she's kind of gets this nervous laugh, and she's just like, "You're tall," because she did mention she wanted somebody tall. That was like, actually, she's mentioned that quite a few times. She wants somebody tall, but I think she was thinking I think she said between 6'3" and 6'5", and not 6'8" or 6'9" or whatever he is. Yeah, so the family had to say about the Jolly the Green Giant that he can be annoying but sweet. His nickname is Tree, and that he's a good communicator, and that she will be sharing him with another lady. So then she inserts, "Well, are you a mama's boy?" And it was like, "No, he has a dog," and so that's when they start gushing over the fact that they both are dog lovers, and because she tells them she basically has a dog too or whatever. And so then Alexis' family wants him to know that she's a powerhouse. She and the preacher baby, he was giving his all for these cameras too, baby. He had all that inflection in his voice when he was like, "And she's breathtakingly beautiful," So family wants him to know that she's a powerhouse. She's breathtakingly beautiful. Oh, and this was something else that I found very interesting, that she does vagina molds out of clay. Like, sis, what are they used for? Because it's me. I want to know. Asking for myself, okay? I want to know. What are they used for? So then they read their vows. She takes hers out of bronze. She makes like a little joke about like that's the only place she could put it. And so they read their vows to each other, and apparently there was some overlap in some of the things they said, because they joked about how great minds think alike and they get their things off of Google search. Look, at this point we were almost 3 hours in, so I didn't rewind to catch it to see exactly what was said alike, but just know that they were similar. And so then he starts to give her these high fives, right, and saying "girl," and he kept doing that like from there on until the end of the episode, and that just kind of added to my yeah, something about you, Jolly the Green Giant. It's just something like, you know, I don't mind a man that's in tune with his emotional side. I really actually quite love it, because I think we have too much of that masculine toxicity within our, especially our black men. But like that girl, like that's something I say with my girls, like, girl, baby, no, you know, like, why are you saying, like, that's just too much. Like, so even after they ended up talking after the ceremony was over, and I'm kind of jumping ahead, she was just like, you know what, I don't like all the high fiving. It's kind of annoying. So anyway, so back to the wedding. So they say the vows. It's all good. They kiss, and then they do well, no, before they kiss, they do a cord, a cord of 3 strands, where it stands for her, him, and their love. And so he holds it, she braids it, and then they kiss and they jump the broom, right? By the time they jump the broom, the cord had already untwined. Like, I don't know if that's a foreshadow, if it ain't a foreshadow, you know, like, but then, so they're out talking. She asked him how tall he is. He says he is a 6'8". And she's like, 6'8" is a bit much. She was like, now this is just her on her private interview. And she's like, that's uncomfortably tall. So, oh, and now he's saying that this is his perfect wife. Now, previously, I think this is when he was getting ready for the wedding, and he was asked, what was his perfect wife be like? And I think he said something to the effect of that she would have caramel complexion, natural hair, beautiful eyes, and a soft voice. I think that's what he said, right? And so now he's just like, no, this is what the perfect wife looks like. And he kept using that word perfect. And to me, that's a major red flag, because you're dehumanizing her, like you're putting her so high up on this pedestal, because there are no perfect human beings, right? So by him putting her up on this pedestal, like, yeah, you want to you know, I don't want to say glorify, but you want to uphold your mate and think the best of them, but to give them this robe of perfectionism, I think just sets you up for failure, sets them up for failure too, because at some point when things don't go perfect like you are saying and expressing, then you're going to be quite disappointed, versus having a realistic view. Like, yes, this is my woman. I'm going to, you know, I love her. I'm upholding her, but giving her that room to also know that she's not a perfect being, you know? So yeah. And then they talk about if they want children and how many. She also mentions in her private interview that physically he's not awful, but that he is not her type. Like, if that ain't her saying she's not physically attracted to him, I don't know what it is. But she did mention that he likes her, that she likes his banter. He tells her about his previous engagement. Of course, what does she bring up? The 3 times she was proposed to. So she did say that she can see why they were mad. She saw why they were at the altar. And so, and basically that's the end, right? So y'all tell me y'all thoughts. Do y'all think that he's doing too much by saying she's perfect? Do you think he is, I don't know. Tell me what y'all think about his masculinity. Do you think he has enough of that? Or I don't know if I want to just say enough of that, but just tell me what you think so far. Right now, I don't see those two making it. Actually, just going off of the couples and what we know right now, I don't see really any of them making it. The only couple that I can say I think may have a chance. And I think my opinions may change once we see the rest of the weddings and see that those first interactions. But like I said, right now, none of the couples except for Lindy and Miguel. Drop in the comment. Tell me who you think are going to make it and who will not. And let's just discuss. Okay. Well, thanks guys for tuning in for my first live. I know I kind of rambled a bit, but I'll get better. I promise. Just stick with me. And I have fun doing this. So, when I end, I just want to let you know that I pray for you. You pray for me. And what? We're going to watch, okay? All right. Love you all and be blessed.